Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we've got another Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Prestige class description for you. And today, coming at you from the Complete Divine, we've got ourselves the Holy Liberator. So, what we're going to be talking about today is, what is the Holy Liberator? We're going to talk about how you go about becoming a Holy Liberator. We're going to talk about what you get as a Holy Liberator. And finally, we're going to talk about how good the Holy Liberator is and how you might use him in a build. So, let's get started. So first off, what is a Holy Liberator? Well, the Holy Liberator, it's a prestige class, very similar to that of the Paladin. Basically, it is a chaotic Paladin, one that is all about doing good for the sake of doing good. It doesn't matter about following any sort of strict, crazy rules. These guys are in it because, they want to do good for the world. And they don't really care about how that gets done. Whatever means necessary, good's going to happen. So yeah, they are required to be chaotic good. These guys are, the Robin Hood alignment. They're all about doing the right thing, even if it means breaking the law. They don't care about that. The law is nothing but an obstacle to doing good a lot of the time to these guys. So yeah, that's the Holy Liberator. They're a chaotic paladin. So yeah, let's talk about what you get, or not what you get. Let's talk about what it takes to become a Holy Liberator. So first off, chaotic good, like I mentioned. Base attack bonus +5. This is a martial class, so yeah, that makes sense. Diplomacy 5 ranks and sense motive 5 ranks. Okay, yeah, that makes some sense. That does the theme, and the feat Iron Will. These guys do have, they are a stubborn bunch, so that's what they get. Oh, that's what it takes to become one. Fairly simple. Iron Will's really the hardest one of that bunch to get. It's not the greatest feat out there. It's just a +3 to your will save, but that's just a little weak for a feat, but it's all right. Anyways, let's talk about what they get. So first off, they get a good base attack bonus and a D10 hit dice. So really solid for a martial class. Right there with the paladin. They get a good fortitude save, but a bad reflex and will saves. Okay, that's not the greatest. I think paladins get a good will, but whatever. They get at least one good save. I mean, everybody does pretty much, but still. On top of that, they also get 2+ int for skills. Their skill list could be better, though. So yeah, it is what it is. They do get weapon and armor proficiency, though. They are actually proficient with all simple and martial weapons and with shields. So they get like the same, as well as like all armor, including heavy, I think, right? Yeah. So basically the same proficiencies as paladins. So these guys actually, this would be a decent prestige class if you're looking to get some proficiencies that you don't have. Maybe you're coming from a non-martial background. So that's kind of cool. Spells per day. They get spells that are cast very much the same as that of a paladin. Their spell list comes from the paladin list, although they cannot use any law domain spells, which makes sense. Instead, they have a number of spells that are added to them, most of which are from the chaos domain, which makes a lot of sense. But yeah, all the good stuff, of course, applies since they're just as good as a paladin. They're just a little bit more unruly. Considerably more so, actually. But they do have a nice advanced spell casting list, so they do gain the spells a little quicker, although of course you are going to be 5 levels behind, so kind of is a wash on that, but pretty good that you get a little bit earlier access to the higher level spells. And it's all wisdom based casting, just like that of a paladin, so pretty similar on that. They get Aura of Good, which is very similar to that of Cleric and Paladin. In fact, it actually stacks with your Cleric levels for how strong it is. Basically, just if someone uses Detect Good, you're going to turn up. That's basically all that does. Smite Evil. They gain the ability to smite evil, just like that of a Paladin. In fact, this will... this actually would stack with Paladin levels in terms of how powerful it is. You don't get to keep your Smite Evil from Paladin if you have those levels, but your Paladin levels will count to determine how strong it is. So that's pretty nice. And you get it up to 3 times per level, 3 times per day by 10th level. You get Remove Fatigue. That's kind of an interesting one. Basically, a number of times per day equal 3 plus your charisma modifier. You can touch somebody and remove all fatigue from them, which isn't bad at all. Fatigue's a pretty nasty condition that can be brought on both magically and non-magically. I mean, staying up, doing a forced march, these kinds of things cause fatigue, you know? Pushing your body hard for a long period of time will make you fatigued. Staying up and not sleeping for a while makes you fatigued, you know, just like in the real world. Plus there's magical stuff, and this can just get rid of that. So these guys could kind of like stay awake indefinitely using that. Although eventually they're going to run out of stuff, but that's kind of cool that they get that. They get Aura of Resolve. This makes it so that they're immune to any mind compulsion effects, and any allies that are nearby are going to get a +4 on their will saves to those as well. They get Divine Grace. Now this one's big. Divine Grace is one of the biggest and best features of the Paladin. I mean, Smite Evils is pretty nice too, and they get that as well. But Divine Grace lets them add their Charisma modifier to all their saves. That's big. So these guys get that. So they can add their Charisma to all their saves. Now, they don't get it till 4th level, which would mean 9th level. But still, getting it at a later level doesn't mean much. You're going to have to wait longer to get it, but it doesn't really scale with level other than with your Charisma modifier, which, you know, you're still going to be there, so you're just going to be without it for a few more levels, 7 more, but still, once you get it, it's just as good as that of a Paladin, so very nice. And that is one of the best things a Paladin has. They get Break Enchantment. They can just use the Break Enchantment spell once a week. They get a Celestial Companion, very similar to a Paladin's special mount, except for the Celestial Companion is a celestial creature. But it's basically the same thing. In fact, for when you use spells like Heal Mounter, it counts as a special mount. So any sort of spell that says it works on your mount will work on your Celestial Companion. So very nice. They get that at 6th level. Not too bad. Now their code of conduct, they do have one, just like that of a Paladin, except theirs is not nearly as strict. By not nearly as strict, it's, hey, don't do any evil acts, or else don't willingly do any evil acts, or else you lose all your abilities. That's it. Just don't willingly do anything evil. Like that's all it is. It's a chaotic one, so it's a really, really loose, broad thing. Is like, don't do bad stuff, or don't do bad stuff on purpose, or else you can't beat it, or else you can't have your stuff anymore. Like, okay, it's really, really easy. Unlike the Paladin, who it's like, you can't do this or that, and you have to, if you do, you have to atone and blah blah blah. Like, no, this is like, yeah, just don't do anything bad on purpose, or else you lose this forever. That's simple, easy enough. So if you're under a mind control, it's cool. You're under a mind control, whatever. That's fine. But it's like, oh no, you killed that guy on purpose of your own will. Yeah, you can't do this. You can't be a Holy Liberator anymore. That was an innocent child, and you willingly killed him. Yeah, you can't do that. That's bad. No, you can't. And it doesn't even define what an evil act is. That comes down to the DM. I would say killing an innocent child, definitely an evil act. You could always argue that, doing it for doing evil because you had to, there's reasons. DMs may or may not agree. But yeah, really, really simple. As I mentioned with ex-Paladins, ex-Paladin Holy Liberators, if you did have levels in Paladin prior to entering this prestige class, you are going to gain some abilities with the Paladin. For the most part, you don't get, and you still lose all your Paladin stuff because you're chaotic, therefore you're violating your Paladin rules, your Paladin oath, and therefore you are an ex-Paladin. However, a couple of things stack. Like I said, your the strength of your Smite Evil will indeed stack. So if you had Smite Evil, that will continue to, your Paladin levels will stack with Holy Liberator to determine how strong it is. So that's nice. Also, when you cast Holy Liberator spells, you will add your paladin level to your holy liberator level to determine how strong, to determine your caster level. So that's again also kind of nice. Now, does that make paladin the best entry? No, not really. Although if you were to go with the paladin of freedom from the Unearthed Arcana, okay, a little bit better option, but yes, with just base paladin, not so much. So that's what they get. Now, how good are they? Well, they're not bad. Good base attack, good hit dice, decent saves, pretty good martial class all around. They get some paladin spells, which are pretty nice. They get full access to it by 10th level, so 15th level potentially. They'll have full access to the paladin spell list. So that's nice. You could enter as a ranger and still have access to some ranger spells as well. That's actually one of the better ways to enter this. So that's pretty good. Fighter's not a bad way either. If you wanted to do some sort of gishing, you could even use like a bard or something to get in. That way you have your bard spells, and then you can also gain proficiency with all the armors and everything. And then you could, I guess, wear heavy armor. You'd have to take some feats, but it's definitely doable. Now, there's other ways you could do it. I don't know if Bard's the best one, but something that doesn't give weapon and armor proficiency. Not a bad option. Actually, I think Ranger doesn't give a lot of weapons, and it doesn't give armor proficiency, so you would be able to wear heavier armors if you went Ranger and then went into this. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, it's a pretty good prestige class all in all. Is it the best? No, but it's all right. Gets access to those paladin spells fairly early, as well as a couple of... it alters the spell list a little, but not too much. And it's pretty reasonable what it's altering. Much less strict code than a paladin, so that's kind of nice. You can get in with ranger, so you can have some ranger spells. Yeah, just pretty solid. And of course, you get divine grace and smite evil. So very, very nice. Yeah, pretty solid. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel for more D&D 3.5 content, because I do one of these on every single class, race, and prestige class in Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. So ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. Anyways, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you.